Good day. Today we carry on with the contract. I would like to bring under your attention some of the things that are standing in the contract. Many clients don't read the contracts. It's always a piece of paper with a lot of fine print, and then they just throw it there somewhere and they don't read it. I will bring it to you. I will explain to you some of the things that are standing in your contract. We carry on where we stopped last, and I would like to mention the following: that the policy has to be approved by the company, and then we are waiting for the first premium. As soon as the first premium is deducted and the company receives the first premium, usually that's when a contract is starting. All correspondence of this policy will go to the policy holder. That's the main life on the policy. Some companies say the main life don't need some cover, where some other companies say no, you have to take some cover to cover other people. There is companies that it's not necessary for you to take any cover. You can just cover your family or your immediate family, your expanded family. And then we talk about benefits. Will start as from the first day of that month when the first premium has been received. Then your benefits will also kick in. We all know there's a 6 months waiting period due to the fact that there's no medical questions. And I have mentioned it already, but I think we can re-mention these things as well, because it's info that people hear with a point of sale, and then thereafter they forgot about it. The policyholder must be 18 years older, and as well your beneficiary that you put on the policy. The premium payer will pay the premium, and then you've got a premium of the beneficiary, which he actually will organize you as the main member's funeral, if you think about that. Because if you're on a funeral plan, who will organize your funeral? And that's where the companies has come up and say, listen here, add for us a beneficiary. If you pass away, to whom can we speak? So the beneficiary can be a friend or a family member of the main policy holder. Then we talk about insurable interest. The people that you put on the policy must be blood related. And as mentioned in my first video, who's all the people that you can put up? Because when you've got expanded family on, and one of them pass away, and you go through an emotional loss of this person, you've got insurable interest in this immediate or expanded family member. After your death, somebody can take over the premiums, and then there's certain benefits as well, which you as a policyholder can add, which will say that it's a 5-year benefit. After 5 years, the premium, or during the first 5 years, the premiums can be paid, but we will get there. After inception date, you can anytime increase the cover of all the people in your policy. You can amend the policy. You can change some of the things. You can take people off, all that type of stuff. Cooling off period, when the point of sale, as soon as you receive all the summaries thereafter from the company, you've got a cooling off period of plus minus 31 days. All depends on what the company say, but there is a cooling off period where you can stop the policy and say, listen here, this is not actually what I needed. This guy haven't explained me this, or you're not happy with the agent, because the relationship must be between the agent and you. You must buy into the agent as well, because he's going to serve you for the rest of this policy and the rest of your life. So I usually say to the youngsters coming into the field is, listen here, you sell a relationship to your customer. If the customer buy you, then this policy, the sale will go on. So then the policy is coming second. But you as a person must be bought firstly. And they must have a liking in you, and you must see that this in you will service them thereafter. Not just taking the commission and run off and all that type of stuff. If any of the premiums has been deducted in a 3-day cooling off period, the company will have to pay it back to you, and they will. If you say, listen, yeah, I don't want to carry on with this policy. Funeral benefits pay at the death of the life insured after 6 months waiting period. Accidental amount. If you take accidental amount on this policy, it means that, and listen here, that's the cheapest cover that you can get. Genuine. It's a few bucks, it's a few rand to double up your death cover in case of emergency, accidental. If you think of all the accidents that we have these days, children have to drive by Uber taxis to school. You go by bus, you go by taxis. The accidents is just hectic on the roads. So if you pass away in an accident the cover will double up your death cover. If you have taken 30,000 rand for death, normal death, then the accidental, and you pick to take the accidental, then in case you pass away in an accident, that 30,000 becomes 60,000 in case of accident. There's no waiting period on an accidental cover as well. If the policy starts, you're covered for accidental death, because it can happen anytime. Then we talk about children. The mother is pregnant, and then if the child, if she's going on to the pregnancy after 26 weeks, and there's a stillborn, after 26 weeks, usually what the companies say is that they will cover up for that if there's a problem and there's a stillborn after 26 weeks. And that will usually be X amount, like example 2,500 or 10% of that mother's cover on the policy. She must be covered on the policy. If the baby is born, the first 3 months is hectic and you haven't got time to put up this child on the policy, it will be covered for the first 3 months of their lives. Also 10% of the mother's cover. So yeah, after 3 months or in 3 months, you just have to put up the baby's name as an extra life on your policy. There's a waiver of premium at death, which you can take additional, meaning the waiver of premium means that if you pass away, all the people on this policy is covered for 5 years without paying any premium. Thereafter, they will come back to some of the family members and say, listen here, beneficiary, do you want to carry on with this policy? We go on, we've covered all these people. And then as from after 5 years, 60 months, they will just go on paying the premium, okay? Then there's a waiver of premium as well, where you can say, if you take it out before 65, when I reach 65, I want not to pay any more premiums on this policy with all of my people on this policy. And that can be done. It's also an extra amount that you can pay, an extra benefit that you can take out. There's a memorial benefit which some of the companies have that usually pay out a 5 or 6 months or a 12, 11 months after the funeral, where there's money on the table to put up a memorial for the loved one that has passed away. There's cashback benefits that some of the companies have, which say, listen here, if you pay your premium regularly, every 4 years or 48 months, we will pay back 6 months of your premium. 6 premiums that you have paid for the last 4 years, we will pay it back to you in cash. Some companies say, claim or no claim, doesn't matter, you can take it. Then we've got a retrenchment as well. Retrenchment package is usually, some of the companies have it, where if you should lose your work, you are retrenched. It's basically a premium holiday of 6 months that you can ask for with the company. All the people will be covered in that 6 months. It's not necessary for you to pay that premium during that 6 months, for you to give yourself time to look for other job. Paid up benefits, I've mentioned it already. If you turn 65, all the benefits, all the premiums will be paid up, all the people will be covered for life. Then, in a case, there's certain things that the companies say, listen, we're not going to cover you in certain things. And that's usually with any policy, any any life insurer, any company. If there's war, if it is a civil commotion, watch out for this, which they go on a walk in the streets and then it gets ugly and there's stones thrown and all that type of stuff. That's a civil commotion. A criminal or a terrorist activity. In that cases, they will not pay. Okay, so don't go and look for your death to get some money. Okay, so yeah, just be a law-abiding citizen and you will be sure to be covered for life. If 3 premiums on this policy has not been paid, the policy will lapse. It must be consecutive premiums. Sometimes what I've saw in my life, or when I was in the industry, is that this year there's a premium cover, a premium not being paid. Then the second year there's a premium not being paid, and then there's a claim. And suddenly they say, listen here, 2 premiums haven't been paid. But some of the companies come forward and say, listen here, you are sitting with this type of thing, the problem. We will take that premiums and deduct it from your amount of cover, and they will pay out the cover for you. But if it is 3 consecutive months, then the company say, listen here, I don't think this client want to carry on with this policy, and the policy lapse, and no benefits will be paid out. You may amend the policy, add people, add benefits, take away all that type of stuff anytime during the life of that policy, and it's up to date paid. Most companies will say, listen here, the people that we are covered, they must have a RSA ID. And if you are in Botswana, if you are in Namibia, if you are in Zimbabwe, the company's rules will also apply there. Any country in Africa, they will apply and say, listen here, we prefer to cover only our citizens. There can be some companies, I know that some companies, there's some companies which will, and I will come to that with the reward system. I will explain it to you. My next videos will come with the rewards that some companies give the clients, which will be included in the policy. Some companies say, listen, you have to take it extra. But that's a lot of benefits that you will have when you take out a policy with, say, company X. And one of the rewards will be the place of funeral. Companies organize transport for a body to the place of funeral. If the person stays in Bloemfontein and the person passes away in Cape Town, the funeral must be in Bloemfontein or any other place in South Africa or this country. Then the company will pay for the transport for the body until that place. If the person is in another country, it will pay for transport to the border post. And then the family has to take it as from the other side of the country, from the border post. And that's basically part of the contract. Yeah, check out our videos, and my next videos will be on some of the rewards that will go with a funeral policy. After that, my whole video setup will go about financial planning, will go about financial coaching. I will talk about other products. I will talk about savings. I will talk about big life policies. I will talk retirement annuities. I will talk about investments. So yeah, subscribe and you will be sure to receive every time a new video as I put it up. And yes, be sure, 37 years in the industry, I might tell you something that you don't know. Okay, cheers man, bye.